Wolfpack, 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 Wolfpack.
Try and build an island, tell me why you think we wildin'.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host with the most, the best from the Midwest, the overweight lady lover, the husky heartthrob, your not so local supervillain. Ladies want him, men want to be him, your global icon and national treasure, Starks, aka Big Sexy, aka Hollywood Starks Hogan, aka Big Chowder, aka the darkskin dynamo, aka Go Grab the Bill, aka the Messiah of Maniacal Menagerie, aka Starksky Hutchinson, aka Chase Manhattan, aka Big Papa Blunt, aka Chase Money, aka God Body, aka Wave Cap Warrior, aka Did the PayPal clear yet, baby? And I welcome you to another episode of the Fake Wolfpack Podcast, the number one, yes, the number one, you heard me correctly, but I'll say it again for the motherfuckers in the back who just won't shut the fuck up when a real G is talking, the number one wrestling podcast. You don't gotta ask Google, you ain't gotta go to no motherfucking ass G's. We've done all the hard work. And doesn't it sound like I have a trustful face and trustful voice? Yeah, so you can already tell I'm having a little fun. I'm feeling spry. We are about a couple hours away from the new premiere episode of AEW Dynamite, and I am geared up for it. I'm pretty fucking excited because it's going to be in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. So AEW, if you're listening and you're coming to fucking California anytime, please hook a villain up with some tickets. I would love to be there and give you this type of energy all day long. So while we're going here talking and we're plugging, let's go ahead and give a shout out to this week's sponsor of Scheme Daily. They have put out a lot of new dope clothing, very experimental, very expressional stuff. I love what they're doing. You might actually see the husky heartthrob there. But yes, check out Scheme Daily and SchemeDaily.com. Follow them on all platforms at Scheme Daily Clothing. That is SKEEM Daily Clothing. And check out SchemeDaily.com. Yes, so like I said, this week we've already talked about some AEW, so who can guess it? Who? And I'm not doing an Al impression. Yes, we are going to talk strictly AEW predictions and suggestions. So before we rain down, let's give them some flowers. Let's talk about what we do like. And what I do like is the change of the tag team belts. I love the transition into the story. I love what's going on with Adam Page and Kenny Omega. I love that you don't know who's going to turn on who. I love that energy there. And showing that, putting a little faith towards something and put a little teamwork, something you'll never know what can happen. So yes, that's dope. That frees up SCU to go off and have more crazy storylines and do some things. It seems like they were kind of cooling off and people were falling out of love with them, and we definitely don't want that to happen. Speaking of other stuff we love, I love Michael Nakazawa. If we could see more Michael Nakazawa on our screens, that would be dope. He had an awesome match with Kip Sabian, and I like what the Dark Order is doing and trying to probe him and get in there. And they're scouting Brandon Cutler and Sonny Kiss and all the people catching L's in AEW. So I love that storyline. Speaking of storylines, I love the Kip Sabian and Joey Janela and that build. Hopefully that leads to a match at Revolution. I loved the road to Cleveland, and you really got to see what Kip Sabian was about. You really got to see him cut a promo as a heel and put himself over and see what's going on with Penelope Ford, because they've had a string of hot matches. If you haven't seen Kip Sabian versus Michael Nakazawa or Kip Sabian versus Kenny Omega, get a chance to check it out. It was on AEW Dark. And a sleeper match, I think this is probably one of the best matches so far, Joey Janela versus Rey Fenix. That is by far Joey Janela's best match, wrestling wise, skill wise, story wise. Yes, if you haven't checked it out, go check out Joey Janela versus Rey Fenix. And more things that we like and people actually killing shit. Jurassic Express, they're just entertaining. Can we have more Jurassic Express, more Marco Stunt, more Jungle Boy, more Luchasaurus, more Orange Cassidy, hell, more Awesome Kong? And while we're saying it, what Brandy is doing with the Nightmare Collective isn't bad. You just got to give it some time and get it a chance to develop. If you have a chance to check out that Road to Cleveland once again, Brandy cuts an awesome vignette there. Really gets into the character. We really talk about the head bump. They establish these things. They dwell deep into this character and truly define what is going on. So I think to suggest to help the Nightmare Collective to go further, let's get a more formidable male opponent in there. Let's get a stronger male wrestler. I don't think Dr. Luther is going to be a full-time wrestler, nor with Awesome Kong or Brandy. It seemed like it's left up to Mel, who performed amazingly in the ring. So if she's going to do it, let her get her motherfucking shine on. So I think if we can get a Jimmy Havoc and Priscilla Kelly, or some other people who can help drag this on, not Darby Allin just yet, but I think he would be an awesome fit for it as well. But yes, if we can get another strong male competitor in there to help drive this Nightmare Collective over, because you really get to see the other side of the business clean aesthetic that Cody, QT Marshall, Dustin, and Diamond Dallas Page all present. So if you look at the opposite of it, it's a little more dirtier, it's a little more grimier, and they truly already resonate and show that. So if we can get somebody else to help bring it home. So while we're talking more suggestions, we have heard that AEW has been signed on for a new contract. That is I believe, a 3 to 4 year extension. So nonetheless, it's going to be AEW on your screens all the way into, I think, 2022 is the official year. Regardless, they are going to have a second weekly show. It's not necessarily another hour or two of wrestling, but a second weekly show. So my suggestion for what AEW should do for the second weekly show is do more of a first take, inside look into the real psychology and the storytelling that goes into the matches. So put your wrestlers over, get a panel of hosts, think more first take, think more Sports Center, bring into the sports entertainment aspect of it. Let's have them talk some very crazy things. Bring in a legend. Have incorporation where the fans get a chance to chime in. Incorporate the dope memes that you do. Bring in all of the culture that you guys craft on a weekly basis that the casual fan might not get to see. For the people who don't follow you on all social medias and don't get to see the awesome videos, the Chris Jericho Judas sing-along, this is a place where those things can live and they can showcase and show these people, and that everyone is enjoying that and having those times. And this also gives an area for wrestlers like Brandy and other people to tell their stories and cut promos, and more time for others to work out their mic skills and things like that. So nonetheless, I think it can all ultimately be a breeding ground to help drive stories and things further. Just don't take it for granted, because right now you have people's attention and there isn't that much material to keep them going for so long and keep the conversation going. The other bigger brands all love to do this. Even if you look at a Impact or a Ring of Honor, they all have some type of sports cast where someone is talking and giving a vignette and a deeper look and a deeper perspective of what's happening within AEW. So I think that would be something dope. And it also brings in a true sense of community. AEW was built on the sense of community and the all-inclusion effort. Others try to promote this idea that we are a part of some universe and that our opinions matter, but it's not true. AEW was considerably built on the back of fans. Not saying that, it was built off our hard work, sweat, and tears, and we put in millions of dollars to make this happen. But our insights, our opinion, our love, our minds, are just full on diving deep to be a part of something is what spearheaded this all elite movement. So I think taking that energy, harnessing it, putting it into another show like how you did with Dynamite, and you really do embody the crowd of people who watch that show. So if we can get something like that to accompany, to go along with Dynamite and Dark and Control Center and the Road 2s, I think that'll also help the brand overall. So that has been my weekly suggestions for AEW. My name is Starks. Let's give another shout out to our sponsors, Scheme Daily Clothing. You can check them out at schemedaily.com. That is SKEEM daily.com. Yes, they have some pretty cool drops, some ill fashion. Go ahead and give them a ring and tell them the villain sent you. Who knows what you might get for it. And yes, you can follow me at villain_Starks on all social media. Probably IG would be best. And follow the podcast at Fake Wolf Pact, PACT, Fake Wolf Pack, all one word, on all social media. If you have any suggestions, go ahead, slide them DMs. We're going to start being more vocal with our fans and getting more interactive with you. I have been Starks. I have been your humble and gracious host. Wait, I'm not humble, but I am gracious. I have been your host. This has been another episode of the number one wrestling podcast. I bid thee adieu.